In 1100 BCE, across all of Greece, writing disappears. Not a single person is left who can read or write. And it stays that way for 400 years. An entire civilization goes completely illiterate. And yet, inside that darkness, almost everything we now call Greek was born. Stay to the end, and you'll learn why historians no longer call this a dark age. When we picture Greece, we see the Parthenon and the war with Persia. But that image is only a sliver of the whole story. The Mycenaeans of the Bronze Age were the seed of the Trojan myths. The Athens and Sparta we know came much later. And between them lies an age we always skip. From 1100 to 700 BCE, writing was lost. Great buildings stopped. The records went silent. 400 years.
4 silent centuries. We shall call it a dark age.
Early scholars looked at that silence and named it a dark age. And yet, the Greeks themselves never believed their ancestors lived in the dark. The name stuck for a simple reason. The age before and the age after were both dazzling. The Mycenaeans traded across the whole Mediterranean. The classical Greeks built the Parthenon. Only the centuries in between left little behind. But here is the crack in the story. The Greeks of the 8th century did not see their ancestors as lost. Their myths were full of heroes, founding new cities, migrations, and beginnings. The real name for this age changes everything. The pottery of this era carried sharp geometric patterns, a wave that turns at right angles, the meander. It became the signature of the age. So scholars call this time the geometric age. Not darkness, but the age when the pattern was born. The fall of the Mycenaean palaces was long blamed on invading Dorians with iron weapons, but that idea is little more than a guess. In truth, no single cause is agreed on. Earthquakes, drought, a fragile system breaking apart, all of it still debated. And as the palaces burned, not every Greek rebuilt. Some took to the sea as raiders, joining the feared sea peoples. The sea-born attackers who had helped bring the whole Bronze Age down. Refugee and raider were now the same desperate man. And in the chaos, people took to the sea. This was Greece's first great wave of colonization. Miletus, Smyrna, Ephesus, cities that would become the heart of the Greek world, were first settled in this age. And the lights never fully went out. On the island of Euboea, at a place called Lefkandi, merchants still crossed the sea. Their graves were found filled with gold and treasures from the east. This was no dark age. It was a marketplace. When the old trade routes shattered, the historians Andrew and Susan Sherritt saw 2 paths open. One led to powerful kings, the other to lone merchants who weathered the storm by themselves. And it was these traders, not the fallen palace lords, who built the new Greek world. But the most surprising part comes now. Around the 8th century BCE, the Greeks met the Phoenicians and borrowed their writing. In place of the old, forgotten script, a simple, practical alphabet was born. Their gods shifted too. The old Linear B tablets, already named Zeus, Poseidon, even Athena, but now public temples and hero cults began to rise. And in these same years, the spoken roots of the Iliad and the Odyssey took shape. Nearly everything we call Greek began in this so-called Dark Age. By 700 BCE, Greece was a mosaic of small city-states. Athenian democracy did not yet exist, but its seed was already growing. And here is what we relearn. A dark age is not a light gone out. It is a workshop in the dark, building the next world. The Nobel poet Odysseus Elitis once said this: "Strip Greece down to nothing, and all that is left is an olive tree, a vine, and a ship. And with only those three," he wrote, "Greece can be built again." The letters you are reading right now, their root, the alphabet, was born in that very dark age. The time we called the darkest is the time that made the light we read the world by. So ask yourself, which age are we wrongly calling dark?
Doll History.